Good morning and welcome to Kirkintilloch. This is a bit of a different vlog today. I'm going to be shooting the event behind me, which is the Kirkintilloch Gala Day, which I'm very excited about because I've never shot a Gala Day before, but it should be good fun. So I'm going to take you from here to the parade, following the parade, then shooting some of the event. And as you can see, I'm mic'd up today because there's going to be a pipe band behind me at some point, so I'm fully prepared. I've got a GoPro adapter on, we're all good to go. So I'm very excited. So let's get up to the parade and see what's going on. And now we're somewhere else. Yeah, this is a bit of a change of scenery from the parade. As you've seen with my walk up here, we're at a lighthouse and we're not far, we're about an hour outside Glasgow in a place called Gourock. It's lovely. So I've come down here to shoot Cloch Lighthouse, which is just behind me there, as you can see. And it's a beautiful day. We've got white puffy clouds. I've left the mic adapter in the car, so I'm going to try and be as loud as I can be. So after all the storms we've been battered with here, this is absolutely glorious. It's 18 degrees, scorching weather, well, scorching for Scotland. I fancied coming down and doing a wee bit of long exposure photography today. Obviously the event you saw was the Kirkintilloch Gala Day and I was there to shoot the whole day. It was absolutely brilliant fun, really, really good. I got to shoot the pipe band, I did some video footage for the events team and stuff as well. So yeah, it was a good day. So now I've come down here, it's now Monday. And I've come down to, well, it's not really the beach, the rocky beach, and see what sort of long exposures we can get down here. I've got a loan of an ND filter, which I have never used before. It's a variable ND filter. I'm not sure how these, I know how they work, but I'm not sure how good they are, because I've heard a lot of reviews about how they can go quite purple and some of them can have sort of distortions and stuff on your photos, so I just have to have a wee quick look. But if it doesn't work, I'll just switch back to my own stuff and use that instead. Also have another polarizer with me, and I'm shooting with a 77mm lens today, so I'm shooting with a 17-40 Canon L series lens today, just to try that out as well. I'm trying out a lot of different types of kit just now because I'm thinking about jumping ship from Pentax to Canon. It's not confirmed yet, so I'm trying out various different models. I've got a full frame camera with me today to try that out as well. Yeah, it's a wee bit of experimentation today, so we're going to try and shoot this lighthouse, which I know looks its best when it's dark and stormy, so we're not going to get any of that sort of streaky lines across the sky, but we're still going to get something pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to have to go too long because this water's fairly calm today. It's not exactly stormy. A wave hit us, but there must have been a boat going by or something a few minutes ago, so the waves just came in, but it's gone now, so everything's back to being calm, which is lovely. So I'm just going to have a nice chilled out wee shoot down here at the rocky beach, and then maybe take a wee walk along and see if I can get any other compositions. I mean, there only is really one composition I can work with here, so I'll set up the tripod and see what we can get. That looks cracking though, that's going to be a cool shot. So I'm all set up with a shot. I'm going to try a landscape first, which I wasn't planning doing. I had a sort of portrait in my head when I first saw this lighthouse, but I'm going to shoot a landscape first and see how it looks. And what I've done to basically work with this type of ND filter is I've got my exposure first and foremost. So at the moment, if I hadn't been shooting with any filters, I'd be shooting at f10, 50th of a second, ISO 100, and that's without the filter. So if I take a shot now, you can't see that, but that's a perfectly exposed picture. So So what I'm going to try and do now is spin the ND filler to the maximum. I've got an app on my phone which has a cheat on it which tells you the exposure time. So I'll have a faff about and get my exposure locked in, and then I'll let you know how it looks. But so far it's looking really good. And that's without a filter, so yeah. That water doesn't really look like it needs smoothed out very much anyway, so I may have to move into the water. How much I love that. So I tried the ND filter on various different exposure times, which I have to be very careful. And obviously because it's one of those variable ones, it had a bit of sort of vignetting on it, which I wasn't too happy with, and I have to apologise, it wasn't a Benro one, it's a Tiffin one. The Benro is the polariser that I've got, so I've just checked that. So no, Benro's still good. I'm using the polariser just now actually, so I've got that one just now. So what I've done is I've basically just done a very cool, I found these really cool sort of whelks on a rock, and I'm using that as a focal point, which then leads you up to the lighthouse. But I think I'm going to have to get closer in because I'm using a super wide angle lens, but obviously because of that there's a lot of distortion. The lighthouse looks miles away, so I'm going to try and get further up, and then on the way back I'm going to collect some whelks and have them for my lunch because, well, I'm Scottish and why not. But what I love about this though is that there's a big massive white cloud right behind the lighthouse just now, and it kind of looks like an explosion of water behind it. It's also been side-lit by the sun, which is just behind me over here. So it looks fantastic. It's going to be a good photo once I nail in the composition that I want. And that's the thing with these sorts of beachy sort of seascape photos, is finding something that's interesting enough in your foreground to sort of bring it all together and make it, you already know what your subject is, but I think it's just finding something that sort of fine-tunes it a wee bit and gets it exactly the way you want. It looks a wee bit different from what everyone else has done, so I suppose that's all part of the fun, isn't it? So I'm going to grab the camera and I'm going to move further up and see what else we can get up there. There's a couple of big giant rocks up there that I've already got my eye on, but I want to try and incorporate the mountains behind it. So I'm trying to incorporate them into my shot. I've also got a wee sort of touristy boat, and there's a Royal Navy boat coming up this way as well. We'll move further up the beach and see what we can get up here. So I got really excited because I saw a big giant wave coming because of the Royal Navy boat, but by the time I got down to the water it had completely disappeared. So the water's far too calm to try and do any sort of long exposures. It's already pretty smooth as it is, so you're really just getting that sort of milky effect, which I don't really like. I like to try and retain some kind of motion in the water or some kind of detail in the water when I'm doing them. Unless you're doing minimalist shots, then it's completely different, but I'm not really going for that today. Just kind of come away from the water and I found these awesome dark slate rocks with some seaweed, which are all sort of jagging in the shapes and stuff like that, and the rocks are fantastic. They're all sort of jagging in sort of triangular motions that way, which are sort of leading up to the lighthouse, which looks really, really cool. I've taken a few shots here. I'm shooting at f8, 80th of a second. It's also a lock camera up here, so I did get one down the beach, down the water. I'm not really sure which one I prefer. I did get one really cool one with a sort of rock pool, and I've also got this one looking up to the lighthouse. I'm not really sure which one I prefer, so I'll maybe pop the two of them up here and you can have a look at them. So I was actually researching lighthouses for a project I was working on, and I wanted to come down and scout this one, just see how accessible it was, how easy it was to get down to. There's a very, very tiny overgrown path further up the road. Just I parked the car right at the lighthouse, which is quite handy because I've got spaces out there, and then I walked that way along the back in here. It's a wee sort of white building, looks kind of like a garage or something, and then I followed the path down. There's a wee rope at the bottom you can hold on to because it's a wee bit of a jump, and then it brings you down on the rocky beach. I mean, it's still lovely to sit out and enjoy the view actually, but I'm quite enjoying the peace and quiet. I've had a hectic few weeks. Yeah, so I've definitely got two shots I think from this location. I'll maybe pop one of my photographs from the Kirk and Gala day up as well, so you can have a look at that as well. But that's not really a landscape photography, that's more of an events picture. I was actually researching this lighthouse and I was researching Turnberry Lighthouse, and there's actually a lighthouse just across the road which you can see from here, which I'm assuming that would be Helensburgh, I think, across there. So I'm going to research them as well, but their ones I'll probably maybe just slot in, because Turnberry one's nearer Girvan, which is about 40 miles I think from here. And I have to admit, I'd love to get out in a boat out there, but I don't think it would be very good for photography. I think it'd be pretty bumpy and you'd get quite seasick, I think. So I'm going to go find a chippy, because I'm starving. So So I hope you've enjoyed our wee trip doing the water today. Unfortunately the Waverley's not here. I don't know where she's birthed. I think she's actually birthed down further down the Clyde. But she does come up here and she goes to Dunoon when she's operating. So I've been on that one once when I was a kid. It was fantastic fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you liked this video, remember to like and subscribe. And I'll pop my photographs at the end of the video as well so you can have a proper look at them. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm off to find myself an ice cream with a flake in it and a bag of chips. So until next week, I'll see you soon. Bye!